This is a very important slide to understand, and I'm going to go very slow on it so that anyone who is new to this can understand how this works. But this is essentially how the money flows into an EB5 project and flows back out. The NCE in EB5 stands for New Commercial Enterprise. Think of this as an EB5 fund. What this will be is an entity. It'll usually be an LLC or an LP, limited partnership. And then you're going to have an NCE manager. In all of our projects, that would be EB5 United. EB5 United is managing the NCE or the EB5 fund. Most people in EB5 will call the NCE manager the regional center. The regional center is actually another entity that is just approved to sponsor regional center projects. So sometimes the NCE manager owns the regional center, sometimes they don't. But in EB5, you will typically call the NCE manager the regional center. So we at EB5 United manage the NCE or EB5 fund for every project. And let's say we're raising $100 million. So that would be 125 investors putting $800,000 into the NCE. So when you send us your money, you're actually not sending it to EB5 United. You're sending it to the NCE, which you own one share of, worth $800,000. From there, we make a loan agreement between the NCE and the project. Now, the money can go in EB5 as debt or equity, but I'll explain in a minute why we stick to debt, because we just cannot justify the low returns you would receive in an equity project for the amount of risk that you would be taking in an equity project. And so it's just very rare that you'll see a true pari passu common equity project in the EB5 markets. You'll usually see debt. So the money gets lent from the NCE to the JCE. The JCE is the job creating entity. The job creating entity is where the 10 jobs are created. That is the project that is owned by a developer. And then oftentimes you'll have a bank or some other type of lender or investor that's putting money into the project. At the end of the EB5 loan, then the JCE will have to repay the NCE. And then every investor here owns one share worth $800,000. So the $800,000 gets paid back. And every year of the loan, the developer is also paying interest. So if the developer does not pay the interest or they do not pay the loan back at the end of the loan term, they are in default. It's just like a bank lending you money for a mortgage on a house. If you don't pay your mortgage, the bank will take your house away from you and they'll sell it to get their money back. If the developer and the project does not pay the NCE its interest or pay back the principal investment, then the NCE will take over the project and sell it or do whatever is needed, operate it, complete it, whatever is needed to be able to get the money back and pay themselves back.